Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about overcoming our tendency to procrastinate. I'm a champion procrastinator, and maybe you are too. And I'm not going to claim to have beaten procrastination because it's something that I grapple with all the time. But over time, over reflecting on it, over talking to other people, reading about it, I have developed a three-step system or three keys that help me when I am in that rut, when I am facing that tendency to procrastinate. And I'd like to share these three keys with you in case they'll be helpful and useful to you. Now, if you look at the little box on the screen, you will see the three keys are reflection, planning, and accountability. These are the keys that work for me. And before we get started, I'd like to say that for many of us, when we decide I need to work on my tendency to procrastinate, the first thing we think about is planning. We think about, I need to make lists, I need to go out and buy notebooks and planners and calendars, and I need a system. You know, the problem is my system. And if I kept better lists, or if I used my phone instead of a paper planner or something, I would stop procrastinating. And I would like to suggest that, at least for me, jumping to that planning step is putting the cart before the horse. I think the first key is reflection. I saw a meme going around online recently that said that procrastination is a trauma response. I thought that was an interesting way to look at it. The point of it is that there's a reason why we procrastinate. We are reacting to something. We are resisting something. We're resisting doing the work, but why are we resisting doing the work? We're resisting doing the work for a reason. Maybe it's because we don't think it's going to be rewarding. Maybe it's because someone's been nagging us to do it, and so dragging our heels feels like our way of taking back our power in that situation. Maybe what we're really struggling with is the tendency for instant gratification, and that we'd rather do the fun thing right now than do the thing that's going to be profitable later. I think the first step in the process here is that reflection, is saying, okay, I don't want to do this thing. I'm resisting doing it. Why am I resisting doing it? And if you can pin down the reason and you realize how perhaps shallow and invalid that reason is, you can get yourself going. Such as, I am avoiding doing this because my significant other's been nagging me to do it, and I'm irritated about that, and I'm asserting my own power by not doing it because I'm showing them that they can't boss me around, right? Something like that might be at the root of your resistance to doing a particular task. If you're a student and you're resisting studying for a class, why might you be resisting? Is it that you don't feel you're capable of understanding this information well enough to get a good grade? Is it that you're hearing your parents' voice in your ear pushing you to get an A in the course? Is it because you don't really want to be in school or be in this course, but you're doing it for somebody else? Pinning down that reason why you're resisting can go a long way to breaking that resistance, because then you can face that reason head on and say, that's not an appropriate reason for not doing this task. So I urge you to start with that reflection step. Why are you dragging your heels? Why don't you want to do this thing that you're supposed to be doing, or that you think you want to do on some level, but apparently you're resisting it too? So what is the clash there? Step 2 then is planning, and this is where you break a task down into its component parts, breaking it down into tiny little bite-sized pieces that you can check off as you do them. And I'm planning to do another video showing you exactly how to do that, because that is kind of a separate task and a separate topic all on its own. But taking that task and planning for it. So maybe your planning takes the form of, I have an exam next week. It is over 4 chapters. I have 6 days before the exam. If I can manage to review a chapter a day for 4 days in a row and then review all 4 chapters on the 5th day, I can give myself a day off from studying for that exam before the exam takes place, rather than putting it off till the night before and thinking you're going to retain all of that information. So the planning is the next step. Now, how should you plan? You should do whatever works best for you. I still keep a paper planner. I'm kind of old school about that. I put appointments in my phone. So if I have a doctor's appointment or something that's on a specific date and time, I put that in my phone. But task planning goes in my paper planner because checklists like that are helpful to me when I'm doing a task. Then I also tend to make spreadsheets of tasks. So I'm breaking something down into, say, 4 major pieces, and then each of those pieces into smaller subtasks. So I have a variety of ways that I do it. The same method's not going to work for everybody. Another method I've used successfully in the past is index cards. If you write tasks on index cards and put a rubber band around it and carry your pack of index cards around, you can rearrange the cards to reorder the tasks. When you finish a task, you can throw out the card. You can add new cards in very easily as new tasks come along and keep shuffling the deck. That's another technique I've used in the past that has worked well. Again, there will be a separate video on planning and breaking tasks down into their component parts that may be useful for you in that area. Okay, so first we're going to reflect, then we're going to plan our strategy for getting something done, breaking it down into smaller steps. Key 3 for me is accountability. And this is a step that I did not do in the past. I've started doing it recently and I've had a lot of success with it. Accountability is where you check in with somebody else to be honest about how much you have accomplished and to own up to what you have and haven't done. And for me, that's been really useful because knowing that I have to report out to somebody is an extra incentive to get something done. So I have a coworker that is my accountability partner, and we report to each other every night by text. And it might be like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but we send each other a text message just saying, here's what I got done today. Okay, now the key to this is you have to be honest. It has to be someone that you're willing to be honest with and who is willing to be honest with you. So if I'm reporting out to my friend and the information I have to share is I didn't get anything done today. I was tired, I took a nap, I couldn't get out of my rut, I didn't accomplish anything today. I will say that. And she will say that to me. Now, we're not going to scold each other or yell at each other, but it's just the act of saying, I didn't get anything done today, is an incentive to not have to say that again the next day. Now, if there are several days in a row where we're not accomplishing our goals, we might say to the other person, you know, this is the 3rd day in a row when you haven't made any progress on your writing project. So are you stuck? Is there anything I can do to help? So that accountability partner can be a really important step. If you're one of these people that you do okay with deadlines that are set by other people, like a boss or supervisor, but you struggle with your self-imposed deadlines, then that accountability partner can be useful. And again, this isn't someone who's going to scold you or yell at you if you haven't accomplished things, but it is someone who's going to remind you that you're not keeping up with your goals. So 3 keys: reflection first, why are you resisting doing this task, planning for doing the task, and then finding an accountability partner are 3 steps I recommend to help you to manage your tendency to procrastinate. Have a great day, leave me a comment, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.